I cannot imagine, imagine you play Taylor Swift, like suddenly the chorus like, "Mommy, you save me." All right, up next we have a hit from Vietnam. It's called "Seating."
Okay, welcome to another episode of Revelry Podcast. So today we have a very special guest all the way from the Philippines. It's Bandit. What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up? Thank you for having me here, guys.
Okay, so Bandit is a very famous open format DJ, also cosplayer, multi-talented artist. Came to Singapore to do like 2-3 gigs, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it is a part of arrangement by our own KRAVE right here. So maybe tell us a little bit of your experience in Singapore so far. Like what do you see that is like very striking to you? Like any difference here?
Nightlife?
Yeah, I mean like can be like
anything in general.
The moment you reach the airport.
Everything is so nice. Everything is clean. The roads are so flat. There's no potholes. Like, so in the Philippines, we have like a very big culture on lowering our cars, but we have shitty roads, so like it's very hard to drive. Because I lowered my car as well. And I'm just, the first time I was like still in the cab, I was imagining, oh, I want to lower my car here.
But
the roads are flat.
In Singapore, the government is like actively trying to discourage people from driving. That's why the cars are like costing like 10 times more. There's a road tax, there's car maintenance, COE.
COE is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's for a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a car license.
Car license to own.
License to own a car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
You didn't even own the car yet. You just a piece of paper.
Just like Grab.
You can own, bro.
I think it's okay in Singapore because the public transportation is pretty good. Like I traveled 40 minutes from our hotel to get here, and not a single drop of sweat was dropped.
I think Singapore for most Westerners is considered quite hot, but I think for Philippines, you come to Singapore, it's like cooling,
Yes.
Yeah, as compared to
And it's impossible to commute in the Philippines. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm elite, but I never really commuted in the Philippines. It's so hard to commute in the Philippines, and like I don't want to sound like discriminating, but if they see the Apple logo, I'm not gonna be safe.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I think this is safety is something that a lot of Singaporeans are taking for granted. Yeah, it's something that I guess the government has really like created over the years, and we are enjoying it without like thinking twice. Like especially in like US, our friend Jax on the other podcast number 2 or something, he was saying that it's like so common to get robbed over in US.
It's like a Tuesday, man.
I think in the US it's a lot more worse than in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But there's still a chance in the Philippines. In the Philippines, it's less confrontational robbing. Like they're not gonna be like I've heard stories in the U.S. where my friends are like they're gonna be like, "Give me your wallet." In the Philippines, it's not like that. They're like ninjas. You'll be like, "I don't have a wallet anymore." You could be walking and like, "Oh, my wallet's gone," or you could be like texting and then suddenly someone's just like, "Woo!" I'm like, "Oh, bye. It's mine, but okay, I can't chase you." So
it's more like pickpocket rather than rob.
Yeah.
Outright robbing.
I think something like in Europe. Europe is like that as well. You just suddenly lose your stuff. Yeah. So one of my friends lost, I think, their camera. It's like they've just bought this Leica camera. It was lost there. Like,
Leica is expensive, right?
Expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah, Leica is expensive.
Yeah. Imagine that, man.
But in the Philippines, it's very zony. It's not like here in Singapore, like anywhere you are, it's Singapore. So like if it's safe in that area, more or less, it's safe there also. In the Philippines, it's very zony. Like you could be in BGC, and then you cross 2 blocks, and then suddenly you're in Guadalupe, and then it's suddenly very different.
Yeah.
It's like very zony.
The culture and everything as well. Is very different.
So like you could be seeing Ferraris driving by, rich as. Can I say bad words? Yeah. Rich as fuck. People walking around, and then like you walk 20 minutes in the wrong direction, and then suddenly it's a totally different place. So it's very zony. So
I think it's a big country problem. Like in Singapore, you want to get ghetto, but 5 kilometers away is something else.
Yeah, everywhere there's a CCTV camera, in Singapore.
Yeah,
you want to do something, right? You have to look left, look right, and every time there's a camera there. Yeah, and the thing in Singapore, you take your phone and use it to choke places in the kopitiam. Nowadays, we realize.
In the Philippines as well, there's a lot of cameras, but they're not working. So like, so like, let's say your phone gets stolen, and then you go to like the barangay, like the local government, and you be like, oh, I want to see the cameras to know who stole my phone. They were like, oh, that's just for decor. It's not really working. So that's why like a lot of Filipinos, like when there's crimes, they don't report anymore. It's just a waste of time generally. Like
Is it
basically
cheaper to like buy a new one?
Yeah, because like you go to the police station, you get your hopes up. The police, don't worry, you'll take care of this, but nothing really happens. So like it just erases you off, and then suddenly yeah.
Well, they're more focused on crimes like murder and all this stuff. You know, there you can buy guns and stuff as well.
But is there like a gun license for Philippines or something like that?
A gun license?
Yeah, I mean you can get gun licenses, but it's pretty hard. So I think the guns the Kevin is talking about is like the ones for the black market. So those are the kind of guns where it's not like Glocks. It's like revolvers with a lot of rust on it. If you really want to kill someone, there's a way, but yeah, it's not common. I mean, in the places where I'm from, so I'm not sure about the other places.
Yeah, by the way, talking about places where where are you exactly from before Philippines?
Yeah, so I'm from LA. I was born there, and then I moved to the Philippines with my family. So that's why I was not really exposed to like the.
Like very young when you moved?
Yeah, I was 9.
9.
So not really been exposed to like the other parts of the Philippines, but I see it because you cross the wrong street, suddenly you're in a very different place.
Right. I think like another sense that in Singapore is very clamped down by the government, and in some ways it kind of like restrict the creativity a little bit. So you see that a lot of like successful Filipino and Filipinas are like making it worldwide, you know. So I guess like it is like probably the country that is like brewing this like unrestricted creativity, and then they can like kind of like monetize it overseas. What do you think?
Well, the reason why like a lot of artists from the Philippines make it bigger or better in like other countries. Let's say like an example is 88 Rising, or maybe Careless. They're getting a lot of gigs in the US as well. Is because in the Philippines there used to be a stigma with local music. So for a while it was uncool to like Filipino music.
Oh, it's like Singapore don't support Singaporeans.
So it's what I noticed in the Philippines is, let's say the cool people, they don't want to speak Filipino at all. Like they speak English only, and they only listen to American songs and other like K-pop. They'd rather listen to K-pop than hear Filipino songs. And then a lot of high-end bars in the Philippines, they ban playing OPM, like original Pinoy music. So I'm actually the first venue in BGC that allowed Filipino music, because I was like, it didn't make sense to me. Because like, if you're gonna go to a Chinese bar, you gotta play Chinese music, right? But you're in the Philippines playing in a Filipino bar, but you can't play Filipino music. It didn't make sense to me. So I was telling my DJs, yeah, if you have Filipino songs, you can play it as long as the crowd likes it. And then it worked, and now there's a lot of the neighboring venues are doing the same thing, and so in a way I'm kind of proud of that.
But I mean, it's quite similar, I guess, in like Japan also, because I used to be a resident for Zouk, and then they will always send us to this kind of like Southeast Asian or the Asia country to promote Zouk Out, our yearly festival. And then one of the shows that we had to play was in Japan, one of the clubs. And then at the DJ mixer, the front where the crowd cannot see, there's a sticker say that no Japanese songs. Yeah, so I guess like maybe it's like the Asian people on the whole, we have that kind of like inferiority complex, or probably we are just more humble, whereas like US is like, yo, represent, you know, something like that. They are more proud of themselves, and like probably in some Asian cases we see like, you know, Americans coming over, they're more rowdy, you know. Yeah, so I guess that is like maybe they show that how proud of they are of their own culture. Similarly with like Italians or Europeans, they're also super proud of their own culture. And I feel that it's like slowly trickling down to like Asian people like us. We are like slowly representing more and more, like Wukong, you know, representing the Chinese Oriental sound, inquisitive as well. Yeah, those are two very good examples.
Well, I feel like, you know, all this talk about arts and everything, right? It won't grow if the culture doesn't actually accept it. Yeah. So, you know, like let's say let's say hip hop. It came from all this you know, like whatever problems they had in their ghetto, whatever, they actually talk about it and rhyme about it and stuff like that. But you see, you want to bring that to, let's say, a country like Singapore.
Not relatable.
Yeah,
because
it's not
not
really-
organic.
Yeah,
right?
you want to be ghetto here, like where? In Dillon or something.
So,
Yeah.
East side, west side, 40 kilometers away. Already.
Yeah, not really a fan of hip hop, but if I heard like a hip hop song rapping about strict parents, maybe I like it. I wanna go to the club, but my mom won't let me stay out until 9 p.m. bro.
That's the thing. No, in Singapore,
relatable,
right?
yeah.
Like, let's say if you are like you want to rap about this kind of thing, what are you gonna rap about?
Yeah, dude.
Like, are you gonna rap about like, oh yeah, you know, cruising down the street and then like too many cameras in my house? Yeah.
That's probably why like J Cho, I don't know if you know J Cho.
Yeah, no J Cho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
J Cho is like very relatable because it's all about like, you know, family problems like, hey, 不要打我妈妈, you know, don't beat my mom, you know, it's like the talking about the abusive father, that kind of thing. Then people can kind of like relate to it. So I guess now is the era where all of us are slowly embracing our heritage. And probably that's the new direction, probably.
Yeah, sing about someone getting whipped by a hanger or something when you were young. You know, the struggles of being a child, an Asian kid.
By hanger.
No, with a hanger, with a slipper or something, getting hit by a slipper. Yeah.
Okay, slipper quite common in Singapore. Like when you were young, what were the kind of things you got hit by?
What's your top three?
The top three like weapons.
To be honest, I never got hit because I was
The
from
grounded one.
US.
Oh, right.
Hey, you grounded!
So I'll be like,
Go to your
fucking
room.
hit me, I'll call 911.
You know what my mom said to me, like, okay, Josh, you are grounded. I'm like, thanks, mom. Holiday for me.
All my best friends they're Asian, so like one time I was out. I think I was 13. We were playing PS2, PS3, and then suddenly my friend's mom was just like hitting him with a clothing hanger.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing again, stop playing! Bah! And I was like, should I leave?
And those awkward times when you're
Can we
like,
finish this round?
but you know, all these things, right, actually contributed to how you grew up as well. You know, like actually you become more resilient in all these kind of small ass problems and stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, that's definitely what I see. Like compared to like, I don't want to be racist, but privileged people, they're more sensitive over the little things. But like for us,
Our
like,
snowflake generation versus our generation.
yeah,
right?
so like we're used to like having shit thrown at us. So like when shit happens, we're just like
brush it off.
just walk over the shit, right? But other people, you stop. There's shit blocking my way. Right? But like we're just like, yeah, step over the shit. If the shit, if I step on it, just walk far enough until the shit's gone.
Get that dirt off your shoulder.
Yeah. Now everyone is just like, the shit's there. Right? It's like, can somebody please move it?
Yeah, please, I cannot walk. Shit is blocking it.
Yeah, you can actually see it. You know, like for example, when something's broken, right, our generation will try to fix it, or until we really cannot, then we'll throw it away. But some generations, or I'm not sure which generation it is, but they'll just like, okay, throw it away, it's not working anymore. They didn't even like look at it and try to fix it, just throw it away and buy a new one. Yeah, those kind of things are like something that, you know, like when you grow up with, you know, like you don't have that much technology last time when we were younger, then we really try to make do with what we have, and if we break it, we'll try to fix it.
But I mean, compared to our father's generation, like for example, in our father's generation, they are even more willing to fix things because they had even less. So like a bicycle breakdown, they will try to fix the bicycle, but for us, we will buy a new bicycle. So I guess every generation is like fixing less stuff and just like, you know, get it done quick.
It's getting more capitalism.
No, it's like, you know, every time we have something like we have and then it's broken, then now the next step is Shopee. Everything just find the cheaper option.
The reason why like everyone's like no longer patient with fixing things is everything's so accessible now. Like you said, Shopee, Lazada. Like if I have something that breaks down and I can afford to replace it, I'll just, you know, I don't want to waste time fixing it anymore. I just Shopee.
And I think with the rise of China also, right, everything becomes cheaper also. So you can all access it better, quicker also, you know.
How about speaking of all this ordering stuff online and everything. So you do cosplay, right? So do you order or do you sew your own.
Okay, so the cosplaying is so different from when I started. I started 2012. So back then, if you wanted to cosplay, you can't just pick, oh, I want to cosplay this guy. You have to think, can I make that costume? Right? Before, there's like, I wanted to cosplay Cloud, but I was like, I can't make a huge ass sword. But now it's very different. You can buy costumes on the Shopee, and then and then there's a lot of crafts people. So I can hire people, make me a sword, make me the fucking armor. So it's very different now. So the level of cosplay is really higher now because there's professionals who are crafting the costumes for cosplayers. So now it's more accessible to everyone, and there's like there's an economy. So there are also people. Before, cosplaying was like for the super nerds who are willing to really invest. But now I can, like, let's say I can be a normal guy, kind of like anime, and then like, my friend tells me, yo, come with us, and it's very easy for me to make a costume or to get a costume.
There's a guy that can make you the Cloud starter pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
black
Mortal Kombat.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
But what got you started into this cosplaying thing?
What?
Like what got you started into this cosplaying thing?
What got me started?
Like, how do you get into it? Like what was?
To meet hot girls. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's different. Like you know how it starts with, like, when you're watching anime, right? And you, like Dragon Ball, and you're like, "Rrr!" and then me and maybe other cosplayers, we got to a level where it's no longer enough to like act. I want to look like that person. So I can't go to the mall and look like Goku. So I gotta find an excuse. So like, oh, there's an event. That's why I'm wearing this. But yeah.
Have you ever DJ'd
Cosplaying? Well, yes. Actually, just last month. I think last month. So Riot Games, they had the League of Legends launching. Just before League of Legends in the Philippines was handled by Garena. And then Riot is now the one handling League of Legends in the Philippines. And then they had like a launch, and they had like a rave, and I was their DJ. So I was dressed up as Yasuo. My most hated character.
So with this cosplaying thing, you also do streaming online in terms of games
Yes,
and everything. So like, that was about that.
So me, the three things I love is music, gaming, and cars. So the only thing I've monetized is music. So with cars and gaming and anime and shit, it's draining my money. with music holding on, like with being a DJ. So
I mean, when you mentioned that cosplaying was for the nerds in the beginning, I guess it's the same for DJing as well, right? Back then, there's so difficult to DJ. You have to collect records and all that stuff. So maybe you can tell us a little bit on how you started that musical journey.
So I started learning how to mix because I used to be in a dance crew when I was a kid, right? So we used to b-boy and shit. I was the one who got assigned to do the mixtapes that we danced to. And then when I was finally 18, actually I was 16, but I had a fake ID. So I went to the club, and then I was like, I can do that, maybe even better. So that's when I actually looked into being a DJ. And then a lot of problems happened within the family, and then I couldn't afford to finish school. So I had the choice, like, it's either I sit like this or forge a path. And I was like, what can I earn money from? What am I good at? And then I was like, oh, I only have DJing. I mean, I can't dance good enough to get paid, and nobody pays dancers that well anyway. So I started going to DJing. I practiced a lot. I used to practice 10 hours every day. So I have you see the fucking
callus.
Yeah, callus. Like, this is from too much DJing. So every day 10 hours. So what I would do is I'd record a mixtape 10 hours and listen to it. 1 hour record, and then 1 hour listen to it again, and then repeat until 10 hours. And then I'd have 4 hours more in the day, and then I'll just play. But every day when I wake up, stretch, open Serato, start DJing. So it's really easy now for DJs, because before I was able to start learning, I had to invest in a controller, right? I had to sell my old PSPs because we were poor, very poor at the time. So I had to sell a lot of things. I even sold my phone. So I only had the laptop and the Hercules.
Oh, the super small.
E2?
Yeah.
Hercules E2, yeah.
Small jog wheels.
Yeah, very small. So I practiced with that, and then I'd done some gigs with that, and then I was finally able to save up for a Mix Track Pro, which I practiced so much more also. And then after that, I was able to do small gigs, a lot of small gigs using my controller. But for some reason, I was really scared to use CDJs. So I had to save up for an SL1 because I wanted to use Serato. So I used. So SL1s were so expensive back in the day. I'm not sure in SGD, but I got mine for 25,000 pesos.
That's like around 500 plus.
Yeah. And then me seeing DJs now just buying cheap ass cables, plugging their laptops, I'm like, no fair, you should buy a box. That's so cheap. So it's way more accessible now to be DJ. So, and don't copy me, because I was like, if there's young DJs watching this, don't copy me. I was so scared to use CDJs. Now I use USBs because I'm too lazy to bring a bag. But it's basically the same thing. Like the controller, if it has the play, it has the cue, it has the jog wheels, it has the faders. It's the same.
So you stopped using Serato already?
Yeah, the reason I stopped using Serato is so when there was a bar that I fell in love with. I used to refuse to play commercial music. They like
so what do you
sometimes,
play?
Before I transitioned to commercial, I was playing dancehall, bassball, reggaeton, and reggae, and raga step, reggae dubstep.
Yeah.
And before that, I was playing EDM, bass house, big room. So I left Serato because there was a bar I fell in love with, which is Versus. So I'm a gamer, and it's a bar that had arcade games. So but they only play commercial. So I got myself a gig in Versus, and I played the most commercial set I could come up with, but it was still kind of dancehall, and it was like dancehall remixes of commercial songs, and the owners hated me. And after a month, they booked me again, and I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, I'm so fucking sure they forgot I was the DJ that they hated. So I had to redeem myself. So that was when I finally sold my soul to Backstreet Boys. So I started downloading commercial tracks, and then that's when I started playing commercial. And then turns out I'm pretty good with commercial.
So sticking with open format.
Yeah, open format. And then that's when I had to leave Serato, because the DJ booth in Versus is super small. And I had like a kind of big laptop, and I had nowhere to put my laptop. So that was the first time I played with USBs as well. So playing at Versus is a huge turning point, because that's when I switched to record box, and that's when I switched to commercial.
How do you think of the transition, like between laptop to thumb drive? Is it like very not intuitive?
My first 2 gigs, it felt harder. Than once I got used to it, it was easier. That's what I keep telling Kevin. I was like, you know what? One of the problems is, like, let's say I do a gig and I have my backpack, I have a laptop, a Serato box, and other shit with me, cables, and I have a very heavy backpack. And then my friends are gonna come to my gig, and after I finish my set, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you wanna go to the next club?" And I was like, "I can't get in because I have a bag with me."
Dude, that's the thing that I actually had a chance to do in Philippines. You know, like he booked me for 5 days straight, every single day gigging in Philippines.
Yeah.
The first 2 days I'm using my laptop and everything. The third day, fuck it, I'm too tired to do this shit. I'm gonna do it like BANDIT used thumb drive.
Yeah.
Until now, I'm
Yeah,
still
I guess
using
that's
thumb
the
drive, bro.
reason why international DJs are like just on thumb drive, because they probably play 3 gigs a day in different countries, and so tight and so rushed. And then most of the time you cannot go on stage because you are too famous, so you have to get your manager there, and you can't be possibly bringing one Serato box and one computer, right? And then the previous guy probably not even using Serato, then the amount of logistics, plus they have to set up cameras to record the live set, so there's just so many elements.
But to be fair, playing with the laptop, there's always the keyboard, which makes searching for tracks easier.
For open format.
Yeah, but for me, the cons, like you get a few benefits, but there's too much cons. One con that I realized that I can't deal with anymore is because every now and then I have to play with the laptop with the controller, right? And then the one thing I hate the most is being covered by the laptop.
Oh yes,
Yes,
correct.
'cause-
The DJ presence is not as strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even if I put it to the side, I hate it so much because like the crowd's there, but I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not as thin as I used to be, so I don't have jawline anymore. So I don't like doing this anymore. Before it's fine for me because I'd be like, let's go,
Let's go camera angle.
But now I want to like just do this.
Yeah. And then how you played an open format gig yesterday, right, at Emerald Q, but how would you compare the crowd in Philippines and in Singapore?
So I'd say if energy levels, the Philippines, the energy levels in the Philippines is from 0 to 100. There's no middle ground.
Real
so
quick.
It's from don't want to dance, don't want to move. They're just like this, like they're super steady. Kevin has already experienced this. Like they'd be like this, and then you look down, and then suddenly everyone's like, what? So
I think it's because of the tequila. Tequila does that to you, bro.
The hit later.
Yeah, it's like person like chilling, the suddenly it's like, what am I doing here?
yeah, so that's how it is in the Philippines. But in what I noticed last night is the energy is more. It starts a little bit higher than the starting energy of the Filipino crowds.
Yeah.
But the peak is also lower. They're more tame and. They still have shame.
Dignity.
In the Philippines, like it doesn't matter if you're the richest kid in the club, but once you're in party mode, no more dignity, no more shame. You just have fun. That's one thing that's very fun with the Filipinos. Because as a DJ, that's very nice, right? But if you're among the crowd, I can imagine it like that, like sweaty people, like get off.
I love that feeling, man, when you can actually work hard and then you play hard and then you can like really relax. And then the next day when you go back to work, you know, there's extra strength, you know. Yeah. But I think in Singapore, everybody is just like, you know, so scared to go too crazy.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's because, you know, like you don't know if someone's watching, you know, because almost everybody here knows each other somewhat.
Oh, a very small country.
Yeah, it's a very small country. It's like, you know, like sometimes you'll see in Instagram, like your friend tagged another friend. I know that guy from high school. And it's like, all this, it's like,
it's very small.
It's very small.
Yeah, the worst part is when, let's say, if your friend is making out with somebody, then someone takes an Insta story of you, and like, yeah, caught you, bitch. Then post it online, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of these times that, you know, like you walk in Orchard Road, there's always a time that you will say hi to someone. Yeah, because it's that small. Singapore is that small.
Yeah.
I think in general, also basing from the clothing the people were wearing last night, I think the Philippines is a little bit more liberated when it comes to that. Because in the Philippines, also like everybody knows each other. Because it's let's say in BGC and Poblacion, it's two of the cities that together. I mean not cities, two nightlife hubs in one area, and it's all the same people. So like I could be walking around Poblacion, and then people who know me from BGC is gonna be, oh, there. Everybody knows each other as well. But I think they don't care too much, because I see people taking videos. Oh, this guy is kissing a different girl again, and then they still do it the next day.
Oh.
Like I think what you said earlier is like they're scared to like, right? So if somebody got video, they're not gonna be doing it again tomorrow because they didn't like that they got videoed. But in the Philippines, they don't really mind. I think they're a lot more liberated now. Like the Gen Zs, I like the Gen Zs more, to be honest. I mean, I have a lot of nostalgic memories with the millennial crowds, but suddenly the millennial crowd in the Philippines just went extinct. Like after pandemic, boom, everyone's young. If you're 25, you're kind of old.
Yeah.
So I'm 27, I'm like a dinosaur. Like they like call me uncle. No, I'm kidding.
Well, a lot of the millennials, right, in COVID times, you know why there's a lot of increase in the population? Everybody just procreated in that COVID times, and mostly and mostly it's the millennials. I think
what happened during the not just in the Philippines, but I think what happened during the pandemic, the millennials, it was like the lockdowns, everything was like a wake up call to the millennials. Like, yo, what are you doing with your life?
It happened to me,
The
bro.
millennials who love raving and the Blur, it all came from the millennials. And then suddenly lockdowns, and then millennials were like just woken up. They're like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Well,
so they just fixed their shit, and now like the Gen Zs took over because the millennials they're busy being responsible.
adulting, bro. That's the
That's
wake
what
up call,
happened
man.
with my friends, with my millennial friends. Like after pandemic, like I try to invite the people I usually invite, and they'd be like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry, I have a kid now, or I have a business now. I have to be early tomorrow." I was like, "You didn't do that shit before."
Same with like my group of friends, bro. It's the same thing. Yeah, everybody has a kid, everybody's married and everything. So if you want to ask your friend to come out, they need to ask permission from the wife and all this stuff. And you know, like they need to discuss about the budget.
I guess the Gen Z is like our new employers now.
Yeah, I think we have to accept that it's the change. It probably happened with the millennials as well and the Gen X. Probably the Gen X DJs hated that as well. Like, oh, the millennials suck. And then now it's
millennials.
so I think it's up to us artists like to move with the change. Because if you can't change with the change, you're gonna get left.
That's true.
And that's not good.
Yeah. What do you think is the difference? Like, you know, you played for, obviously we all played for millennials also, but now playing for the Gen Zs, like, what do you think is the difference?
This is only in the Philippines. I'm not sure in Singapore or anywhere else. But the millennials are more open to hear music that they don't know. Like you could be like, let's say, even with commercial music, like let's say hip hop, and then you can drop a lot of unknown hip hop tracks, and then they'll be like, "Oh, sick beat, bro." But with Gen Zs, I think they're too spoiled with Spotify, like having the power to choose and always play songs that they know, that they're no longer open to hearing songs that they don't know. So
That's quite interesting because you thought that the older people will be like more resistant to change, but the younger people is like, you know, but now it's like reverse because of TikTok, because of Spotify.
So they're so spoiled to like having because we millennials, we had to like listen to the DJ. Like let's say we're listening to the radio, the DJ is playing shit music. We have no choice. I can't choose the music. So
you cannot skip.
Yeah, so if they're playing shit music, you just try to like it. I mean, not necessarily shit music. Like shit music you don't like. It could be good music, but I don't like it. Let's say I don't like metal, but like the DJ's playing metal. I have no choice. I gotta try to appreciate metal. Or turn off the radio, right? You have to turn off the music, or same with clubs. You fucking leave the club, or you just wait until the next DJ comes in. But the Gen Zs, they're so used to like having the power to choose the music, so they're super spoiled, right? So they go to clubs. I'm not sure in Singapore, but in the Philippines, they just go to the DJ and like, yo, can you play Taylor Swift? Like
that's what happened.
At Zouk, we have one of our friends, his name is Hong. He started this movement called No Breast, No Request because everybody is requesting for song, and it's Zouk, you know, it is like a 3,000 capacity club, and then people come to the front with their phones in his face. And it's just Insta storying there.
It's so weird for me that this change happened. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure. I'm speaking for the Philippines, but this change happened like because of the pandemic. Because pre-pandemic, like people would go to the DJ's booth and they'd ask for pictures, right? And then they're so shy, like, "Oh, DJ, hello," and I'll be like, "Yes," and I'll be like, "Can we take selfie?" I'm like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you." But now they're like, "Yo, play this." I'm like from being super treating the DJ with so much respect. Like, maybe because I don't know because maybe millennials we saw DJs as rock stars because we had Tiesto, we had Martin Garrix, but to millennials, DJ is just the guy with the music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I guess also because right now there's so many DJs, you know.
It's also because it's easier to be a DJ now. Like before you become a DJ, you have to show commitment, which is like spending for the gear. Right now, all you have to do is
have a following, then the club will book you.
Have a laptop.
You have to have boobs, bro. You have to have boobs. But do you feel that, you know, like the attention span as well of the people in the clubs are shorter?
Yes, and I'm actually playing that to my advantage because when I play, I have ADHD. I used to take meds for ADHD. My attention span is also short, so when I play, my pacing is super fast. If the song starts with a chorus, that's it. So I'll be playing songs. I'll only be playing for 20 seconds during my set. So pre-pandemic, sometimes I'd get complaints. So the older guests are gonna be like, "You're let us enjoy the music. You're mixing too fast. You're not in the battle." But so far now, we're almost like going 2 years since the pandemic ended, and I haven't gotten a complaint yet that I was mixing too fast.
That means what used to be a diagnosis for you is now the new norm. Congrats!
Which is, I'm super, because I get super bored, and if I don't mix right song after song, my attention will fly. I could be like DJing, and then suddenly I have my phone browsing Shopee. I'm like, oh, how did I get there? The song's ending, I'm browsing Shopee, so I have to just keep doing something shit after shit. And Kevin's already saw me play, and I'm mixing so fast, like song after song after song, and I still have a lot of time like putting effects and shit. Because I have to be touching.
And all of these things, right, while vaping.
Yes. So I have to be doing a lot of things so the attention span is, I'm actually playing it to my advantage. I like it.
Perfect. Then have you heard of this genre called hyper?
I was just gonna ask. This is so
hyperpop.
Yeah, have you heard?
Hyperpop. It's basically a song that it's like a usual verse, chorus, but the chorus every 4 bars change to another drop, change to another drop, change to another drop. So it feels like 4 songs in one song. So it's a genre of pop music, but it changes within the song itself.
Maybe that's like a K-pop song on steroids.
It's actually more of like melodic bass kind of genre.
Yeah.
Future bass.
Because if you listen to K-pop songs, it's multiple genres, multiple songs even in one.
I mean like Sicko Mode lah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like what song is it? The Blackpink song. There's a
Let's Do This Love.
It goes from like trap to like Egyptian style sounding, and then so that's what I realized about K-pop. It's like they put different stuff and then they blend it so good that it turns into one. And
Right.
So I think, am I doing the right comparison?
But faster.
On steroids. So it's K-pop on steroids.
Yeah. So K-pop is usually, I guess, like there's a story 1 and then story 2, and then the last part is the fusion, right? But this is like story 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then verse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 verse. So the drop itself has like 8 drops, something like that. Yeah.
I want to hear a track. I want to hear one. Hyper pop? Okay.
But we cannot play now. It's copyright. Don't be crazy.
Oopsie.
Wow, I didn't know a genre like that existed.
Yeah, it's madness, dude. Yeah, later.
So what kind of drugs do you have to take to enjoy that shit?
I don't know, man.
You wouldn't know. Drugs-free country, Singapore.
Drugs-free country, bro. What other genres do you actually like love now? You know, like
So just 3 days ago, I discovered Vida House.
Oh shit.
So there's this song. I don't know, most of your viewers are from Europe, right? Or
I think mostly Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah.
So there's a song, and I don't know in Singapore, but the ting 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 si ting song is super big in the Philippines. Like you could be doing the worst set in the world, but then you play that song, people forget you were doing a bad set, and it'd be like, oh, I love your set because you hear that song. So it's that big in the Philippines. So it's actually very groovy. Like you do the drop is so nice. So when Kevin sent me, he was like, yo, research this kind of music. So he sent me a Vina House folder, which I could use for reference. And then I was fixing the titles first, and then I'm placing hot cues. Although I think I'm not gonna play those songs because it's Vietnamese. But what I noticed is the drop is like you can do the same thing with every drop, and I was like, wow, it's very groovy. But after like maybe 15 minutes fixing it, it gets repetitive. So I'm still in the process of trying to find a genre that would go well with it. Because when I DJ, I like to mix genres that sound alike. Before I was in open form, before I was playing commercial. So let's say I could be playing jungle. So jungle would sound good with some raga dubstep, and then maybe like some bass hall. Like they all have the same kind of raga style, right? So those could be the genres I'm choosing from. So like let's say if I'm playing, I'm never gonna stay in one genre for too long. Like if I'm playing jungle for like straight 8 minutes, it's gonna get repetitive, right? So I'm gonna change tempo, we're gonna down tempo, I'm gonna half time. So to change it up. So with Vinny House, I'm still trying to find what other genre could be the neutralizer. I call it neutralizer.
Maybe try out breakbeat as well.
Yeah, maybe speed house.
Speed house as well.
Or like reverse bass is also a bit of like Vina house. Right? Yeah,
Reverse bass.
Reverse bass, yeah. So
There's a lot of.
I mean, the
genres.
combination for Wiener House is Wiener House, reverse bass, bit of hard style, and yeah.
Speaking of hard style, is he gonna play the hard style venue tonight?
Hardstyle. No.
Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. But I don't think that he's gonna play hardstyle there. I'm not sure what he's gonna play, but it's a surprise for everybody.
Okay,
Oh, tomorrow he's playing tomorrow.
at least the club never like stipulate what genre he has to play. Right?
No, he didn't. Yeah,
Where he's
So are
playing
you gonna
tomorrow?
like Backstreet Boys this?
No,
No.
not too commercial. He's playing at Asiatic.
So in the Philippines, I never get the chance to play non-commercial sets anymore. So I'm gonna definitely enjoy this one, not playing commercials.
Yeah, get out of the commercial. I mean, once you're in Philippines, just get out of the commercial
Yeah.
part first. You experiment on your
I mean, don't
sound
get me
and
wrong.
everything, right?
I don't hate commercial. There's a different kind of fun when playing commercial sets. Like you could be playing an EDM set, but it's different with commercial where you can just like turn down the volume every 10 seconds and people are singing, right? Because they first of all, if there's no vocals, they can't sing.
Yeah.
There's a different kind of pleasure you get from playing commercial, but it's just I've been playing commercial every day, and I want to play something else.
Switch it up. Yeah, similarly to all our resident DJ friends, they are like, hey, I want to host a private party of a certain genre. You know, everybody come up, show up. You know, something like that. Yeah, I guess it's like for the soul. I guess as a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need something new, you know, because you're doing everything repetitive every single time, right? It's like it's really getting old.
Yes.
Especially commercial. How many commercial songs can you play that's like that's different? You know, can you play something different like that, but still commercial? It's gonna be like a bit only, right? Every single night, of course, there's gonna be a repetitive song every single freaking night.
That's true. There's gonna be the core songs that the people will always be waiting for. So in the Philippines, they always wait for Bruno Mars, and like there's certain tracks that
Or
if
the
you
Putang Minak song.
all
I do is win.
yeah. So it's just
Yeah.
not gonna be complete. A set's not gonna be complete without certain songs, like a commercial set. So yeah, it's very limiting.
Right.
But what I'm always a half full kind of guy, and what I noticed with the commercial is that now that everybody's playing commercial in the Philippines and even in Singapore, right? A lot of people are playing Singapore. Is with commercial, like all the DJs are playing the same music. It gives the DJs the chance to show who's really good or not. It's like let's say me and you, we're playing the same music, but I'm rocking the crowd better. So what's different? So that's where the crowd reading comes in, the technical skill comes in, and then the song arrangement. So it gives you a way to shine as well. Because if you're playing your own genre's own collection, you could be doing. How would you be able to say you're like better than this guy? Because you could be just really good at arranging songs, but you suck at everything else, right? But you're not gonna know. But if we all have the same material,
It's like an old school battle.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
yes. So
it really is.
That's why you know, like whenever someone is asking me for songs and everything, I give them my whole thumb drive full of all the songs and just keep on giving people my thumb drive. Because the thing is like, I'll give you my songs and everything is there already. Whatever I have is there, but it doesn't mean that you can play the same way as I do.
So before I went commercial, I used to hate it when I see DJs trying to peek over to see DJs trying to see, and I'm like, no, this is the remix I only have. Stop looking. And then I used to hate it so much before because I was like thinking, oh, if this guy copies all of my songs, then I'm nobody anymore, right? But that when I started playing commercial, then I'm playing the same music as everybody. Then the complex disappeared. Like I'm like, yeah, you can have my whole library. You'll never be me. Right? Like, in a way, it kind of cemented how I feel about myself as an artist.
It's also a way of you know, like showing that you're confident with what you are, you know who you are and everything, you know, like your skills and everything. Yeah.
So in a way, through like in a sense of self-discovery.
Oh.
The commercial is nice, the trend, but I really hope Gen Z Filipinos open your mind to something else now.
Especially
Please.
EDM, yeah, EDM, bro.
But
Yeah,
I guess
house.
this is something like there's this statement, everything goes back to techno. So the older you get, the genre that you play and you create and then you listen to also gets more and more stripped down until when you're in your 50s and 60s, everybody's a techno DJ. Then it's like level playing field, and it's about how you showcase your technical prowess and your personality to capture people with using kick and snare. That's it. You know, there's not even words. Yeah, probably you will finally reach that point.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard in the Philippines where he's usually DJing at, because they're like I think he's trying to push the movement as well of playing something else. But the thing about it is, there's two things that he needs to please before himself. It's the venue or the event and the crowd.
Isn't that everywhere?
So the thing is,
It's not Philippines exclusive. Philippines is not the only country that does it.
wait, let me finish.
Hell, hey, can we like clip this part?
Yeah, but let me finish about this. So,
Okay, this one better be a dope ass ending.
I thought Kevin was gonna say like in Singapore we don't care about the crowd.
Fuck the venue, man.
No, fuck the venue.
No, the thing about this is in Singapore at least it's like they're more open to playing other genres and all that stuff.
But specific clubs.
Specific place, yeah.
But in Philippines, almost every single clubs are the same. So the thing is, how do you push the music if every single club wants the same thing?
I mean, online content, or maybe that's the only free space that you can express.
Create your
yourself
OnlyFans, bro.
I think the problem with the Philippines also is there's a city in the Philippines. It's called Iloilo. So they're able to have their own bubble in the nightlife industry. Iloilo is very far from Metro Manila, by the way. It's a province. They play mostly EDM there. Ooh. So they're able to do that, they achieve that, because the nightlife scene there is small. There's like less than 10 clubs in total. And all the DJs can like have like, okay, if we all play this, okay? And if all the clubs are playing music people don't know, and they have no choice to enjoy it, right? To just force themselves to enjoy it, right? Because it's either you go to the club, you don't like the music, because it's underground. You go to the next club, it's underground as well. So what's your choice? It's either you go home or force yourself to enjoy it, right?
Is that your radio example?
Yeah, but in Metro Manila though, the problem is it's so big. So let's say, for example, Poblacion. So Poblacion is like a city, it's like a town, and then they converted the houses into clubs and bars.
Whoa.
So let's say in that, Poblacion itself, Poblacion alone has 50 plus clubs and bars.
Damn.
So one time I was playing at a new venue in Poblacion, and then the Waze, the GPS went out, and every wrong turn I made, there was a club and bar. I was like, okay, but this is not the bar I want to go to. But that's how you've been to Poblacion, right?
Dude, they brought me there. They booked me in the club, but the Uber driver, the Grab driver dropped me off in the wrong place. I was wearing my avatar costume and everything, walking around because it's Halloween, walking around with my bag and all this, because I'm still a laptop DJ that time as well. Walking with a bag and everything, and Halloween there is super big, so the whole place is full of people. It's like literally like you can't even move.
Whoa.
So you imagine I'm walking around like that for 30 plus minutes, and every now and then people like say, "Hey, airbender, can you do some airbender thing?" That dude, I'm fucking, like holding all my gear and everything. You want me to do that?
Did anybody like go for you then? Like, hit that
Yeah, they did. Someone did that to me as well. Then with a blue arrow and everything. Then after 30 minutes, I fucking finally found that club.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's so hard for DJs to control the music in Metro Manila, because there's so many venues, you can't coordinate all of the DJs. Okay, we're only playing techno. We're gonna educate people techno. It's so hard because first of all, you can't really make people agree. Like, okay, we play. If it's too big, because other venues might take advantage. They're gonna be like, oh, everybody's gonna be playing techno, so we're gonna be the ones to play commercials. So everybody's with us, right? Things like that could happen. So that's also one of the reasons why whatever is trending with the people. The people is dictating what the bars and.
Yep.
And in a way, it makes sense because it's a business and you cater to your customers. But
okay, so like over here in Singapore, it's like we are also having a huge commercial culture. Whereas I think in Philippines, it's also commercial culture, but it's more hip hop and pop. Over here in Singapore, it's more hard dance. So for us to so-called make it in Singapore, is we go overseas, get notoriety, become big, and then come back, and then Singaporeans will celebrate us like heroes. You know, it's like, oh my God, this guy is Singaporean. But when you're small, they don't support you. So that's how we bring fame. But then earlier, before the podcast, you were saying that, okay, let's just say we bring like James Hype or whatever to the Philippines. Like people cannot really appreciate, you know.
Yes.
People just want their Bruno Mars, means they just want their Bruno Mars, the end, you know. So let's just say if you gain fame overseas, let's say you do a song with Tiesto and then you come back, do you think it would be the same effect?
if the song that I make with Tiesto gets to be a radio hit, then yes.
US
It
radio?
has to be a radio hit. Like, so let's say a hard style track for some miracle becomes the #1 hit on the radio, then Filipinos will love it.
Oh.
It should be on the radio.
Okay.
Still radio
Mainstream
power.
radio.
Mainstream, yeah.
People are still listening to radio there, bro, because everybody's driving.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like hard dance is.
No, not
very
really.
difficult.
Gen Zs, they don't even know what radios are, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Spotify,
whatever is on the
Spotify,
Spotify charts,
yeah.
yeah. So what their friends are
New Music
listening
Friday.
to, yeah, that's it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, music now is more accessible. It's so hard, it's so easy to discover music now compared to before, but people just don't want to discover new music.
Yeah, which is very contradicting.
Which is
to
so
you.
weird.
Yeah, like, you know, there's so much that the pool became bigger and so easy to access, but people still want to hear the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's,
Talking about radio, most of the time you'll be listening to radio in the car, right? So do you think that it is less likely that a radio host will program a hard dance track in the radio when everything is like so commercial and more pop, right?
In the
And then suddenly
Philippines?
one hard style track come in, it will like kind of interrupt the flow. Do you think that it's less likely that a hard style hit will make it on the radio?
If it's a hit, the DJ will play it. Doesn't matter what genre it is, because the Ting 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 song, Si Ting, that's very different from what the radios are usually playing. Right?
but
They
you're
could be
playing
playing Taylor Swift, and then the next song is a Vietnamese Vienna house song.
What? Seriously?
Right.
But the DJ, is it like more like radio personality or radio DJ? Like they mix it, or they just like play one song and play one song and play
Yeah,
one song?
they usually just play one song. They play like 2 songs and they talk over. Okay, this next song is blah blah blah.
Radio
But
personality.
they also do. They also do mixtapes in radios on weekends at night.
That one will be more like one genre.
Yeah, no, not really. It's like what you would hear in clubs.
In the-
clubs, yeah. So
So
open
it's
format
Commercial again. So even on the radio, it's the same thing as you hear in the.
but I cannot imagine, you know, like imagine you play Taylor Swift, you know, like suddenly the chorus like, "Mommy, yeah, save me." All right, up next we have a hit from Vietnam. It's called Si Ting.
Well, as long as I think that it's big in TikTok, why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, lah. Yeah.
So is this the death of flow? DJing flow. Everybody's talking about, oh, everything must follow, you know, the vibe. Probably we don't even need DJ anymore. We just press start, stop, start, stop, start, stop.
Well, there's still the flow, because let's say you're playing seating. Let's say you give me money, you give me tip, and you tell me to like play seating. I'm not just gonna be playing seating after. Let's say I'm playing Drop It Like It's Hot. I'm not gonna play seating in the next.
You drop it while it's hot, bro.
So that's where the flow comes in. So like again earlier I said that's where the DJ truly shines, because we all have the same material. Like if I have seating, the DJ before me and after me also have seating. So but how we build and play and when and where we play seating, that's where how we shine. So let's say DJ #1 plays, I don't know, Drop It Like It's Hot. The next song is seating. Then the next DJ, I don't know, plays Ever After, then seating. Then you know that DJ #2 is better than DJ #1, right? Because just an example. So that's where flow.
Basically, that's where your creativity comes in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess like flow, musicality and everything, right? Maybe the normal audience, they cannot really understand it, but they can feel
Yes,
the
so-
energy. Then you'll be like, you know?
So in the Philippines, a lot of people, the nightlife goers, they say, they'll say, "Oh, Bandit, you're the best DJ. You're my favorite DJ." I'll ask them, "Okay, what makes me different?" They'll be like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but what they just know is every time you're playing, I'm happy. I'm having fun.
Yeah, correct.
So
Must be the hair.
Bluetooth. So you guys think
That's why you, bro. That's why you. So DJing skills according to the hair, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
So at the end of the day, we DJs are like drummers. We don't get too much recognition. So
Yeah.
even if let's say the versus, let's say, basically the versus in the Philippines, the music direction basically follows what I do, but people don't know. There are a lot of people who go to versus regularly don't even know me. Like I'm at versus every day, but you don't know me. But why are you at versus every day? They're gonna say, "Oh, because I always have fun at versus. The music is good," but they don't even know the DJ. Right?
Yeah.
So, but when they say the music is good, why is the music good in versus? But the clubs across versus is playing the same music, right? It's because of the DJ, how they arrange everything and the flow.
It's always about it's basically. Most of the people that's in versus, right? All of them are distracted with other things other than the DJs. Dude, there's the freaking club got
Arcades, yes.
dude. Yeah. So maybe the only time that maybe the DJ shines is maybe when after they lose or win the game or whatever, then they hear the music. Then you can't be like playing Street Fighter and like freaking like shit, man. Versace on the floor.
Then let's talk a little bit about your other hobbies, like your gaming and your cosplay and also your driving. I mean, like
Spending money.
Yeah.
You should
All
start.
my money on car parts.
You should start talking about your sword collection first.
Oh, so I also like to collect swords. I have a show picture to let you guys understand. So I collect swords. So this is one part of my gaming room.
Oh shit.
So this is just one wall.
Oh, Demon
This
Slayer.
is just one wall. So
Yeah.
see, I have almost all of the panels of our place has a sword.
That's why you don't need gun license.
I have a lot of swords.
He has a live version of Thor's hammer. Two of them, both hammers.
So, yeah, like I collect swords. So people ask me, why do you have a lot of swords? Is that for cosplay? No, because my swords are made of metal. So you can't bring them to cons. You're gonna get arrested. So it's like buying toys for other people. So people they like to buy action figures of Thor, right? But I don't want to have Thor. I want to be Thor. So I buy his hammer. And then every now and then I pick it up and I'm like, yeah! And I put it back and then I'm like, nice. Worth it.
The one that you like, keep on seeing, like videos and pictures of you and your stories, just like walking around, just looking around like that with a sword. Just looking around outside the, like his place and just looking around with a sword.
Maybe you can convert that into a watering can. You can water your plants, bro.
Like,
Why you put Mattel inside?
Mattel. 5 seconds.
5 seconds for the pot. Alright, your turn. Alright.
literally, there'd be days where I wake up, I stand up, I stretch, and then I go to my gaming room, and then I look at the wall, and then just pick up one sword. And I just go around the house, I would just have my sword. Like, oh yeah, I'm a samurai. And my girlfriend's gonna get so mad. She's like, what the fuck are you doing again?
He's walking around with swords.
Oh yeah, dude.
Is that to compensate for something else?
My real sword is not a sword, it's a spear.
Oh shit. Straight to the point, man. Don't miss.
Don't miss.
Yeah. So other than that, you're cosplaying. What's your favorite 3 characters that you cosplay?
Three
Cosplay. Yeah.
Top 3. Definitely my favorite is Thor. Because the way we built that costume is we had padded arms. So it's the first time I saw myself with big ass biceps, but it's made of foam. but I could see it. I was like, oh, I'd look good with big biceps but I don't like going to the gym. And then definitely my second favorite is Joker, because I made everything from scratch. And then it was the DC Universe Joker where he had the bulletproof vest with the bullseye target on the back. So it's super fun, and I put my own spin on it. And then
What's the next one?
the next one it was super uncomfortable, but it was the first time I got so much attention cosplaying Spider-Man. It was so hard though. I didn't have pockets, so I couldn't. I had to
Spider-Man with the
With the
hair.
hair,
I had to hide my hair, but it was so uncomfortable. But everybody was asking for pictures. Even the small kids were like, "Spider-Man, Spider-Man!" Because like if you're like Thor, like people like, "Oh yeah, that's from the Avengers," but I don't like Thor. I like Hulk, right? But everybody loves Spider-Man, so I can't even walk anymore. Like everybody's taking turns taking photos. It was the most attention I got. Like I was like, so this is how female cosplayers feel.
I found a solution for your DJing problem. Remember you said the Gen Z, they will come up to you, they don't want to take photo with you, they just want to like ask for song requests. Just dress up as Spider-Man, you know. Then they want to take photo with you.
So,
and they will stop the song request.
So when I dressed up as Spider-Man in a cosplay convention, we ended up not having enough time for me to go back home and change into regular clothes, and I had a gig. So I had to do my gig wearing a Spider-Man costume in August, which is very far from Halloween. So when I first went up there, like the entrance, the bouncers were like, "DJ, why are you wearing Spider-Man?" I'm like, "Just let me go up." And when I was playing, everybody was just looking at me like, "Oh, the DJ is good, but why is he? Who the fuck is that guy?" So I removed my mask, and then like some people recognized me, some didn't, because my hair was squished, so the branding was not there. And then what's super fun is when I played Sunflower, everybody chanted Spider. So until now, those people who was in that club that night, they still call me Spider-Man until now. So
How many years has it been?
it was just last year, but there's a lot of people randomly they'll be like, "Oh, Spider-Man," and I'm like, "Oh, you were there, right?" They're like, "Yeah, of course."
Loyal fan.
Yeah, they don't even remember my name anymore. Like they're like, "Yeah, I think his name starts with B, but he's Spider-Man." so
I want to join you one day.
You Avatar.
I want to try Jollibee.
You're gonna dress as Jollibee. Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is gonna be epic, bro.
Yeah, cosplaying like that. Yeah.
So to close this out, right? So what is next for Bandit, and what do you see yourself doing for the next year and following?
Alright, so definitely one of my goals now is to strengthen my presence in outside the country, and then maybe if I get credibility overseas, when I get back to the Philippines, people are gonna be like, "Oh, Bandit's like next level." Then if he plays EDM, let's try to appreciate it.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because right now I'm just, I mean, yeah, I am kind of popular, but I'm the same, right? But who are you to play music I don't like, right? But maybe it's a step, because right now a lot of DJs, I mean, nobody, I don't know with Gen Zs, but nobody became DJ because they wanted to play Bruno Mars,
Yeah.
right? If you wanted to play Bruno Mars before you became DJ, maybe a different version of Bruno Mars, but we all have our own sound we want to share. So basically, all of us, maybe 95% of us DJs in the Philippines, we can't share us, right? I mean, I get to share the way I will make a commercial set and the way I mix, but I want to have that feeling like when I was still starting, like, "Hey guys, look at this track. Only I have it," and then they like it, and I'm like, "Yeah, don't Shazam." You're gonna look at the next DJ like, "Don't Shazam."
So any last words to say to your Gen Z clubbers?
Audience.
Gen Z clubbers. Yeah. Alright, so if you want to request, make sure you have a tip Because DJs are gonna say, I don't want to play requests, but if you slap them with money, they're probably gonna play it. Right?
Okay, so thank you so much, Bandit.
Thank you.
Ah.